your aim, I say, great leaders of today? Do you want to live to see great progress in your country? Or you want the whole Caribbean to be filled with bloody stains and strife? Taking poor people's lives, making sacrifice, just to live your big life. Oh yes, well you are responsible for whatever happens. That's why we depend on you, thinking you would help us too. But you concentrate on power and don't care if your poor brother eat or no shoes on his feet, up and down the street in the burning heat. Oh yes, while immigration's in the foreign nation, kicking your people out just like garbage cans. But you better realize we have reached at a crucial stage, situation that's taken us right back to slavery days. But I say, you are the shepherd, we are the sheep. You made a petition, and that you must keep. For how can we prosper with our lives in your hand when you're hunger for power, corrupting the land for the news and information that I feel every day? All I can do is just get right down on my knees and pray. And while meditating, I hear a voice saying, "Woe to the shepherd that leads his sheep astray." Oh yeah, but I'm asking of the truth. Oh yeah, I'm telling you straight to your truth. Oh yeah, you are a big disgrace. Oh yeah, destroying the human race. Na, na, na. Every leader should be blamed. It's a fact I must explain. Opposition leaders too, you're also responsible for when you perform malpractice, overthrowing government. I'll insist, if something like this is up, oh yes, well then you will surely die by then. If you take my opinion, you can save a whole nation. All you opposition leaders and you ministers in government, while you resent and rest with content, poor people can't pay their rent. But when you come to the public, you keep a show, telling us big a business. But I hope you know, hungry children starving their belly out while you feeding high. But how can you rest with content when you hear them cry and deny that you are the shepherd, we are the sheep? You made a petition which you would not keep. You corruptious leaders, careful what you do, for what you do to others will come back to you. For when the radio station say Patrick done it today, my inspiration just grew, and I fell right down on my knees and prayed. And while I was praying, the good shepherd kept saying, "Woe to the shepherd that leads his sheep astray."
To the Lord, to the Lord.
For them I seen up the face. I'm getting them straight to the face. There are a big disgrace, destroying the human race. Oh yeah. The whole world situation is nothing but corruption. Even little children, they have so much ill words to say. But I blame parents and teachers who resent from teaching them the way. Go to church, you'll find ministers of the same kind. Sexual maniacs, and then some are homosexual men. They are nothing but wolves in sheepskin. They are blind, but yet they'll be in weeds. And I'm pleased to see Californians like me, who the good shepherds, and see that diverse time and peril has come. I say, false prophets rising up, deceiving every nation. It is time to spread the message all over every land. Stand up and fight and wipe out all corruption, and understand that we are the shepherds to give our own sheep. That is the petition which we have to keep. We promise to be leaders and to give instruction, but some only created abomination. Oh, the world is full of corruption and deceitful men today. So in whatever we do, we must get down on our knees and pray. For when we start praying, we'll gain understanding and know the good shepherd won't lead his sheep astray. He put a blessing in the place. I'm telling you straight to the face. He'll save the human race.
The sounds of the King Starshield there. So, you are the shepherd, we are the sheep. I'm DJ Maurice, and I'm coming to you live and direct from my bunker this evening here. It's a little rain on the outside. Yes, I'm in the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis, Republic of St. Paul's to be exact. And we are back for yet another interested evening of conversation, and your input is welcome, as you all are aware. This program this evening will be a continuation from last week. So before we get into the jiggy evening, let's take a quick listen to the DJ Marisha ad that you will get an understanding. If you're just surfing the web and you're running to us, you will understand what this program is all about. Share the live.
Wednesday evenings are heating up. Log on to DJ Mauritius Facebook Live broadcast every Wednesday evening from 6 to 8 p.m. It's a frank and candid exploration into the social, cultural, political, and economic issues affecting our federation. And just in case you missed it, you can also catch the broadcast on his YouTube channel, DJ Mauritius. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube and smash that bell. You will be notified whenever he goes live. DJ Mauricio, every Wednesday evening, Facebook 6 to 8 p.m. or thereafter on his YouTube channel, DJ Mauricio. Log on.
Yes, you heard it right. Every Wednesday evening right here, you get to hear a very explosive and interesting conversation about what's taking place in our beloved Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And before we get the engine room going, let's take a quick listen to what my boy Carbo have to say about his happenings there on the island of Nevis.
Cabos, located at Fountain Village in Nevis, is the go-to spot for your Saturday treat. Tantalize your taste buds with his delectable Cabos Delicacy Goat Water. Or, if you prefer some soul food, then Cabos Fungi and Fish is definitely the way to go. Call ahead and reserve at 869-663-9694. Then make your way over to Cabos and enjoy the vibrant atmosphere while you savor your delicacy. Cabos, we are not changing, we are only improving.
Food all over, food all over, you got the food all over.
Yes, man, Carbo has the food all over Nevis and St. Kitts. Don't forget, Carbo is available for your orders for whatever event you want to get some of his goat water, his fungi and fish, carboy is available. Just let him know that DJ Marisha sent you. Now let's take a quick listen to what Sister Carmen of Carmen Caterers have to tell us this evening.
Girl Sandra, you know where you can find nice fresh local food 7 days a week, one provision and all kind of thing. Girl, where? Right down there by Shellings, by Carmen Catering Services. Girl, she opposite the bus stop. Girl, and she also cater for weddings, parties, anything you want to cater for, funeral and all. Girl, and trust me, you're gonna enjoy the food. And she also selling bites and sundaes. Opposite the car shop, right down the main road. Girl, you could call 665-1494 or 663-6005 to order your food or go and pick up your food. Girl, the food will be finger licking and you get your money worth. You ain't want nothing better than that.
Yes, you don't want nothing better than that. And don't forget, you can check Sister Carmen on a Sunday afternoon from midday until about 5 p.m. there in Boys Village, serving up some lovely Sunday lunches for your churchgoers right after church. You can check out Sister Carmen there and let her know DJ Marisha sent you. Also, while you're there, you can stop right across the street and touch my boy, brother Everett Ogaro. Let him know DJ Marisha sent you there to support the bar. Let's take a quick listen to my boy there, Brother Daniel, with some strategies there to do business on Nevis.
Welcome to Strategies for Business Success, right here on 2020visionradio.com and on 102.1 FM with business development advocate Daniel Atherton. Each week, Danny will build on a foundation to ensure your success in business. Being in business can be daunting, and Strategies for Business Success can help you avoid the pitfalls. Join Danny right here on 2020visionradio.com, on 102.1 FM, and on your other social media platforms every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. That's right, Tuesday evenings at 7 p.m. The time and place for your business dreams to come true.
Yes, that Brother Daniel there for you.
Hey, this is Malvern from Spectrum Band, and you're listening to DJ Marisha, playing you the best in Caribbean music.
You got that?
Hey, this is Malvern from Spectrum Band, and you're locked into DJ Marisha. Keep it locked.
Right there, don't move that dial. My good people, as I said earlier this evening, we are going to have a continuation of this conversation from last week, because there are some people in our beloved federation, for whatever reason, want to think that the people of St. Kitts Nevis cannot think for themselves. They don't have any sense. Remember my boy there, Patches, Ian Patches Label say, give a common sense test, 98% of you will fail you. And I'm listening to some stuff on the streets, and I'm hearing stuff on social media, and people forwarding me all kind of AI fabricated information. And I want to believe that you people of St. Kitts and Nevis are smarter than that. So before we get into the conversation, I'm going to ask my boy J.A. Dwyer Astafan to come through and drop his commentary for today. And we're going to have a serious conversation this evening, my people. A very serious conversation. Stand by.
Greetings. It is very sad that after all of these years, after all of these decades and even centuries, we human beings still, generally speaking, seem unable to engage each other in a reasonable, logical discussion or debate. It seems that we cannot help ourselves from injecting or from allowing someone to inject into our minds some distraction or another, or become otherwise overwhelmed by emotion and bias. And when emotion and bias get the better of the facts, then reason and the truth cannot win. When that happens, we cannot win. Indeed, we end up in a situation that is contrary to our best interests. When emotion and bias take over reason, we lose. Yet we continue. Sometimes that distraction comes in the form of us trying to attack the messenger, rather than focusing our attention on the issues, and with clear and uninterrupted intellect and conscience, try to reach the truth. And let me further suggest that try as we may try, distract as we may distract, and distracted as we may be distracted, none of that can erase the facts and the truth. We may wish to act like the proverbial ostrich, which instead of staring the facts in the face, chose to bury its head in the sand, thereby exposing itself to grave danger, as the facts, the truth, slammed into its tender nether parts. If you get my drift, facing the consequences of the truth is always better than facing the consequences of ducking from or denying the truth. As the good book says, the truth shall set you free. Only the truth. A man can never be liberated by a lie or by a delusion of the truth. It has to be the truth. And I say all of this by way of introduction of today's commentary, which will be on the CBI issues that we now face. Here are the facts. Here is the truth. If I am wrong, correct me. 1. The Timothy Harris administration granted Galaxy authority to sell 5,500 CBI units, which according to law were to be sold at a minimum of $175,000 US each, which could raise a potential $952 million US. That's $2.5 billion EC dollars. Now this is for a project that should not cost in total more than $150 million. Many, maybe most, maybe even all of those 5,500 units were sold at discounted prices. In other words, below the legal minimum. Although applicants were made to sign declarations that they were in fact paying the $175,000. The law requires you pay $175 minimum. And under the law, false statements by applicants can result in denial of the application and revocation of their citizenship. No denial has ever come from the Harris administration or from the present administration that underselling took place. Indeed, it has been admitted in a court of law that underselling had taken place. And one former government official told me that the government was concerned with getting its fees and did not involve itself in the details of private transactions. That shocked me, especially coming from an official of the government, which was and is the regulator of the CBI. Next, no escrow provisions were included in that Galaxy Jail arrangement. The only CBI regulation that did not have escrow arrangements. That is conspicuous. You should ask why. The answer is that the former administration chose, this was not by accident, they chose not to tightly monitor the project. And who do governments act for? They act for the people, for the best interest of the people. So you must ask Dr. Harris and his colleagues of the former administration, why did that particular regulation not include escrow arrangements? He wants to come back and be your prime minister, but he failed to defend you in that critical moment. And while some people are up and down laughing, bank accounts stuffed with money, what do you have? Ask him about it. So applications were made to Galaxy, not to the government. And the money was paid to Galaxy, not to the government. And nearly all of the money remained outside of St. Kitts and Nevis, did not come into our economy so that you could have access for capital projects, for development, for other things. Ask them about it. Galaxy in that project and under those particular regulations, and in all regulations, was required also to maximize local employment. They didn't even bother with that. And neither the former government nor the present one properly policed that aspect of the project. Your humble servant has been speaking publicly about CBI matters for many years, including Galaxy matters over the last 6 to 7 years. Some of you believed that what I was saying made sense and was true, while others dismissed what I was saying as nonsense. And still others dismissed me. They did not like the messenger, so they dismissed the message, giving no consideration to the message, which, if true, was not only in their interest to know, but should have prodded them to take action to protect themselves and protect the integrity, honor, and good name of this country. That is when you get distracted from the message, whether you're by your own design or others, simply because you do not like the messenger. Then came Philip Martinez of MSR Media, and he started probing, and he started to present information which not only corroborated what I had been saying, but he added mountains upon mountains of additional information that is not only worthy, but is absolutely necessary for the consideration of serious, responsible citizens and patriots of this country. Mr. Martinez brought to the table for national discussion some extremely serious matters that have been a source of concern and or anger among some of us. So much so that artificial intelligence has now been engaged in a robust campaign to discredit him, and of course myself, has been launched. Although I am yet to hear any plausible denial of anything that he or I have claimed. He has been accused of being a fraudster. Well, my question is, if you know he's a fraudster, why not tell the public the whole story about his, let me make up a word, fraudsterism? And another question, why did you business with him? You signed an agreement with him November the 13th, 2023. And while you're pointing a finger at him, are there any fraudsters among CBI service providers, developers, and others who are still being allowed to ply their fraud against the people of this country? In this Galaxy Jail story, some people made between 1 million EC and over 50 million EC. That is a fact. What did you get? The jail project had the capacity to raise over $2.5 billion EC dollars. If they kept to the law and they raised that money, having sold all of the units, you should have gotten at least 700 million US dollars, which is close to 2 billion EC dollars. What have you gotten? Is the $1,000 Aspire thing enough? Is the dividend enough? What do you have? What will you buy your family for Christmas? Are you paying on your home? What do you have? And what do they have? While those people brought shame to your patrimony and mongrelized our programs, and while they laughed all the way to the bank, and are still laughing, although with a little bit of concern, because they don't know what's going to come next. What did you get? Yet you are busy. You are busy. Having been deprived of what is yours, you are busy pointing fingers at the messenger and forgetting that the message shows that it is you who have been screwed, and that it is Martinez in his imperfection who has helped to shed the light on the fact that you have been screwed. You want to kill the messenger who has brought a message to show you that you have been screwed. Not only you have been screwed, but with that attitude, it reflects that maybe some of you are screwed up. My core interest is the well-being of our people. My public life shows that clearly. It also shows that I have tried and continue to try unyieldingly to seek and to abide by the truth, and that I speak truth to power. I don't take sides when it comes to that, regardless of who is on which side, and regardless of his or her sins. I'm a sinner too. Saul became Paul. Mary Magdalene was Jesus' right hand. All of us are sinners. Let the current administration tell you if Mr. Martinez failed the due diligence standards. And if so, why did they sign an agreement with him on November 13, 2023? I'm not here to defend him. I'm here to find and tell the truth. And I know that people shoot the messenger when the message worries them. Yet shooting the messenger seldom stops the truth from flowing like a river in a torrent. Remember what they did with Jesus in order to kill his message. It failed miserably. Remember they tried to silence Mandela by putting him away in a jail for 27 years. Yet he walked out on his own terms and became president of South Africa. Uncompromised, unblemished. The point is, when you try to shoot the messenger, more often than not, the message gets stronger, especially if it is the right message. So, all you go ahead. And as you shoot the messenger, remember, what you have gotten out of this Galaxy Jail deal or any other is next to zero. And ask yourselves if you want to allow yourselves and your children to continue getting screwed. Meanwhile, you're pointing fingers at people. With your pockets empty, your bank account empty, and have little or nothing for yourself, although you have been screwed. You're protecting the screwers. Meanwhile, and I'm not trying to be melodramatic or self-indulgent. I've been advised to be very careful with my own safety because I might have offended the Chinese authorities. You know, China is behind all of these projects, and the Chinese government is using the CBI in these islands as this version of their Belt and Road model to colonize and take control of as many countries in the world as they can. Influence the decision makers, and you influence the destiny of the country. So you all go ahead and shoot. Thank you very much.
Well, my good people, lovely commentary there from Dwyer Astafan there this evening. And I hope you guys are paying attention, you know, because there's some serious AI work going on out there trying to discredit individuals that are trying to bring the truth to you guys. So I would hope that the people of St. Kitts Nevis are paying attention. I'm getting a lot of phone calls from various walks of life, folks here in the Federation, folks in the region, folks in the diaspora. But the good thing about it is the majority of people that are calling, they're saying, Mr. Marisha, thanks for the good work that you're doing. Thanks for bringing the message. Winner is not easy, but you're doing what you have to do, and we appreciate you. I also get calls from some, not calls, but when I run into some of the current administration supporters, they have a problem with me speaking so frank on a Wednesday evening, because where the concern is they went through a rough time under the previous administration, so I should not be talking bad about this administration. My good people, I have said this time and time again. I went in search of Dr. Drew during his time of canvassing to become the leader of the Labour Party. That is when I met Dr. Drew. He didn't come looking for me. I went looking for him, because during that heated campaign for leadership of the Labour Party between Dr. Drew, Congress Maynard, and Jeffrey Hanley, I was getting calls from all walks of life to support either candidate. And I am not into the games where, because I don't like somebody or somebody did me something and they're going to be good for the country, I'm going to fight them down. Throughout the years that I can recall, from maybe 2015, if not before, I always heard that Dr. Douglas was grooming Dr. Drew to take over from him. He was, I think, the chairman of the party at the time, and he was supposed to replace Dr. Douglas when he stepped down from leader of the party. Whatever went on internally, I do not know. But it went from a handing over to Dr. Drew from Dr. Douglas to our outright campaign for the position, based on you, the people that I have touched base with. The masses says Dr. Drew stands the better chance of leading the Labour administration, or the Labour Party at the time, into government. The reasons was given that under Douglas leadership in 2015, the Labour Party lost the election. In 2020, again, the last election. People have approached me and said to me, Marisha, talk to your boy Douglas, are you from the same area? We want to vote for Labour, but we don't want him back as Prime Minister. That was clear. So I throw my support behind Dr. Drew, not because I hate Congress, not because I hate Dr. Hanley at the time, but I went along with the history of the party, what I knew and what the people were saying. Now today, while in Bastille, a young lady met me and said, Marisha, they're blaming you for what's going on, and it don't sound good. Well, if they want to blame me for what's going on, I mean, it all depends on how you look at it, because I am guilty of supporting Prime Minister Drew. I am guilty of supporting him to becoming the leader of the Labour Party, and by extension, the Prime Minister of the Federation. Whatever Dr. Drew is doing, I have no control over what Dr. Drew does. So if you want to blame somebody, you blame Prime Minister Joe, you blame the members of cabinet, you blame the advisors that he's listening to, or you blame the opposition. Because you got a leader of the opposition that I think in the likes of Brother Mark Brantley, who's capable of standing up in Parliament and say what he got to say. I have seen him in action in the past. My only issue that I have right now, is that some people, memory bank seems to be clustered with some short circuit water in there or something. Because with all the shit that we went through under the Team Union administration, I'm hearing people calling back for the former Prime Minister. That's not going to happen under my watch, I will do everything that I can within my power legally to ensure that Timothy Harris does not return at the helm of any government in this country in my lifetime. I come here on a Wednesday evening to defend the country, to defend the people, and to ensure that we do not go back there. The saying, is God country man, woman, or God country people? I am going to stand up for this country against anyone. I am not going to put any prime minister, any politician ahead of this country. This country and the people must be first before any politician. So when I support any politician and they get into office, do the damn right thing. Do right. Don't think you're going to mislead me when I ask a question. You're lying to me. You're not lying to me, You're lying to yourself because DJ Marisha is going to dig, and he's going to dig. And when that information that I find is accurate, I'm going to present it here on a Wednesday evening. Who don't like it? Tough. But this is how this program started. I was in quarantine for 14 days. I used this podcast to keep me occupied, that I don't go crazy. Thanks to Timothy Harris. 14 days. You, the online viewers, asked me please to continue when I came out of quarantine, because the information I was bringing was more accurate than any other podcast, any other radio station in the Federation. So why should I change now because government change? Wrong become right? It does not work like that in my world. In my world, facts takes precedence over whether you're my family or friend. And I've said that to Prime Minister Joe prior to him being elected. I interviewed him on more than one occasion on this platform. And I said to the Prime Minister, or the Dr. Joe at the time, when you get in there, please do the right thing. Do not go down that road. Because whenever that time comes and you go down that road, I'll be coming at you harder than I went after Timothy. And this is not joke. I am serious like a judge. I support Prime Minister Joe wholeheartedly. I would not do anything to harm him, the Labour Party, or the country. But if there's information out there that I become aware of, and I bring it to his attention and he denied it, and it turned out to be true or untrue, I deal with it here at this level. I bring it to you, the people. I give the Prime Minister the opportunity to come and speak to the people whenever I hear anything. I don't just come here and talk. I try to reach the Prime Minister and say, I'm hearing this. What's the situation with this? What the situation with that? If he wants to lie to me, he's not lying to me, he's lying to himself. Because the truth always comes out. So my good people, from that rant to this, as I said, I have been receiving several calls from around the globe, regionally here and locally here in St. Kitts Nevis. And everybody have their own little thing. Even this afternoon, I attend a funeral there for a bit in there, and I surprised so many people know my voice. They do not know me, they say my voice when they hear my voice. Marisha, we love your program, we appreciate what you're doing. But if we are to be honest with ourselves and be open-minded, we as citizens and residents will give credit and thanks to Mr. Philip Martinez for bringing this conversation that we're having today into the public domain. And I feel strong about that. The beating that Mr. Martinez is getting is a smokescreen to discredit him. As we go through this program this evening, I'm going to drop some clips. And as Dwyer said, this commentary, there is agreements out there where in some time, however, Mr. Martinez getting to the Federation, I was heard it was by way of Nevis with Premier Brantley. That's neither here or there. That was done. He came down to St. Kitts. Apparently, it's from the former Prime Minister, whoever invited him, he came down to St. Kitts. Government change. The present administration, they too embrace him. So they're not innocent with what is taking place or what is going on. Mr. Joe and his cabinet and his team needs to be honest with the country. That's what I'm calling for. Honesty. As I've said to the Prime Minister in a WhatsApp message, and I think I might have said it on this program, Mr. Prime Minister, you are not responsible, in my view, for the mess that we are in with this prison project. You did not start that project. I heard Prime Minister at the time, Timothy Harris, bragging about this project and how Douglas could not find money to build this prison. And he was the genius that was able to come up with this project, this money, building this prison. He took credit for it. So passing the buck now to Prime Minister Joe, or to you, Dr. Joe, is neither here nor there for me, because I have the clips in my archives where former Prime Minister Harris took credit for that prison project. Well, all shit hitting the fan now, and there's some smell around the place. And I heard some stuff, and I reach out to you to get some clarity. We're going to get into that in a bit. But at the end of the day, you may not have started the mess, but if you don't come to the people and give the people the facts honestly, you're going to continue with something that you're not going to like at the end of the day. I'm trying to save you that embarrassment, Mr. Prime Minister. There's some information that I got a hold of, and I ask it to come to your attention, let you make a decision. And what I see taking place right now, the public does not know a lot of things that I know. And there's a lot of things I'm not going to say on this podcast because I think it's your responsibility as Prime Minister to come to the people. I promise you all one thing. Anybody want to challenge me about anything that is going on, then I will dump the shit here, and you all know that I'm capable of doing that. Ask anybody who have tried to discredit me in the past, when I bring the facts, how they felt. I'm not here to dirty people's name. I'm here to bring facts. And I'm saying to you, Mr. Prime Minister, whatever you know about this prison project and the CBI and this corruption, this is the time that you come to the people, come to the Federation. We will understand. Whatever you had to do, whatever you had to sign off on to keep the country afloat, we will understand. You lied to the people, you mislead the people, you misrepresent with information, the people are going to forgive you. That is all I'm saying. I'm not cursing anybody. This is free advice. You can't get this kind of advice from them advisors you got out there who are going to prop you up and tell you you're doing the right thing. What I am seeing so far, and I'm going to drop some clips in a bit, is not the way to go, right? So like I said, we should be giving Brother Martinez some credit for us to be having this conversation in the public domain today. Why am I going to tell you that? Because some of you seem to have a very short memory. In 2022, during the campaign, I can recall the then opposition, Dr. Joe, and many people asking how many passports were sold, what's the status of the CBI. And we wasn't getting any information. Somewhere along the line, I think in his defense, Prime Minister Harris might have brought some information out, but not satisfactory to the general public and to the opposition at the time. But we all was up in arms, demanding. I have a good friend, and I'm going to call his name tonight. I'm going to call his name because a lot of them like to be in the back, hiding, and don't want to come out. My good friend there, Eustace. Eustace always said to me, boy, Marisha, I want to know how much passport was sold to, you know. But every week Patches is on that, and I don't want Patches to be the one to get this information. But I want to know. And I tell him all the time, it does not matter who get the information. It doesn't matter who get the credit. The people should know, not want to know. Government not supposed to be having no secret out there about our business. That shouldn't be no secret. But you see, if you go back prior to 2015, you know, and prior to 2013, you would recall that Timothy Harris was a part of that Labour administration for 18 years. So all of them know each other business, you know. All of them know each other business. Dwyer was in there too. Sam Kanda was in there. So all of them know the deal. So when they talk, like a good friend of mine tell me, when fish come out the water and say shark in there, I don't believe shark in there because fish know the difference between shark and human. So when Dwyer speaking, whoever want to cuss Dwyer, want to kill Dwyer, you know. I understand Dwyer. I might not agree with everything that Dwyer says, but I understand his message. And I appreciate him as well, just as I appreciate Brother Martinez for bringing this information into the public domain. So here we are, following the 2022 elections. Prime Minister Ju took office, and the questions continues. How many passports sold? What's the status of the CBI? And we could never get a straight answer out of Dr. Ju. He referred us to the CIU. At the time, I think it was Mikey Martin or whoever. And you cannot get a straight answer. It's only since this lawsuit by Mr. Martinez, we start getting some numbers, you know. So I am saying to you, the people, we focus. Stay focused on the prize. As a doctor told me one time, don't throw out the baby with the bath water. Do not throw out the baby with the bath water. Do not be like the NRP up there in Nevis. Remember, they said they didn't want the petition to come up. They could help them win the election. They want to win it on their own. They end up losing. A lady came in last Sunday past there from St. Lucia. Say everything that I said before, and they clap. They welcome her. They want to institute everything she said. But I said the same thing. And I was too forceful. I tell them, get up out of the lazy ass and go and do the work. They had a problem with that. But she tell them laziness does not get you elected. They love that because she say it nice. So my good people, back to the Martinez situation. You cannot want information, and Mr. Martinez was the shining light that drove this information into the public domain. And why you want to kill the man? Let's focus on the prize. Let's get to the bottom of this matter. There are many individuals in our beloved federation who have, in my view, benefited from unscrupulous behaviors and bad practices, fraudulent activities, thieving, etc. And what is it? They're still there. None of them was charged with a crime. None of them was locked up because badness is what is installed to them. Badness is what going on in Stull is a bad boys club. Politics today in St. Kitts Nevis is a bad boys club. It's like a cricket team. They're not good like West Indies because West Indies losing everything, but they're winning. The criminals are winning in our beloved federation at the highest level. The criminals are winning because we allow them to win. They try a little $500, a little $200, then we accept it and we feel good, we clap. Well, they're taking millions. Well, Marish, you're not going to know these things. See these things with his own eyes and documents. Seeing these accounts of these criminals that have millions of dollars that they benefited from our country, our CBI, in our Fuel's account. And just sit back and smile and listen to them fooling all your dumb ass saying St. Kitts and Nevis. That's what you all are. I'm going to call you all this tonight. For those of you who want to cuss Mr. Martinez, attack Dwyer, attack Benter, you all are some dumbasses. Because these folks are not the enemy. The enemy are the people that continue to take the country's money and put it overseas while we're here struggling. Schools, daycare, small businesses are suffering because of what these people have done to our beloved federation, our CBI program. Tonight ain't gonna be an easy night, you know, because I'm talking it like it is. I'm giving you the facts. So, through a court order, Mr. Martinez was able to get bank accounts transaction of many of those individuals. Those accounts reveal a great deal of monies landing accounts out there. You understand? A journalist at the Prime Minister's roundtable last week asked the Prime Minister what his response to some information that Mr. Martinez leveled a couple of days earlier on his podcast. And what was the Prime Minister's response? Do you know Mr. Martinez? Do you know his background? Did you investigate Mr. Martinez? He's a convicted fraudster. That was not the question, Mr. Prime Minister. There are a lot of fraudsters in government in St. Kitts and Nevis, past, present, and I do not know where else. They are enablers that enable these fraudsters. They have done more bad things to this country than Mr. Martinez. Mr. Martinez, in my view, is an investor who got investors to invest the money in this country and want a return. Their return is hampered by some bad things that seems to be taking place according to Mr. Martinez. And they're trying to collect. You know? So, through the court orders, apparently Mr. Martinez realized where some of the monies are. And when people out there spreading false rumors about Mr. Martinez demanding money from the government's treasury, wants the people money, this amount of million, that amount of million, that's not true. I'm not going to put it public, but I am in possession of transactions, messages that went to some individuals, where Mr. Martinez made it clear, and he has said it publicly, he wants to be paid for whatever he have lost. He wants compensation, but he does not want the country to pay the cost. The people who have the money in their account, they're the one that got the country money and the people money. That's who he wants to pay. And if they don't pay, the Justice Department in the United States have the information and they will act. And you all might not understand it right now, you know. You all might not understand it right now, but give it time. It might not be in my lifetime because I do not know where my end is at. But whether I'm gone or not, the Justice Department in the US is still there. And you're all going to see for yourself that the games that has been played by some of these politicians in this country, believe they're smarter than anybody else. They're going to have a heavy price to pay. And it's going to be a shame that they have all this money and cannot enjoy it, you know. Because I am of the view, no matter what Prime Minister Joe is talking about, development bank money and all this other stuff, Nobody gonna get locked up in St. Kitts Nevis. Nobody gonna go to jail in St. Kitts Nevis. But some of them going to jail overseas. Some of them gonna go jail overseas because you see the Shrika case. You see these monies that pass through them US banks, and some of these dirty millionaires are you got in St. Kitts and Nevis. When the time come, whether the US government come in to get them, they decide to send them out, and the Prime Minister and this government does not follow up to the treaty they have with other countries where this crime is concerned, is the citizens of this country going to suffer? Is this country going to suffer? Some years ago, during my lifetime, I think there was 2 or 3 incidents of extradition. And I think we all know how that played out. Jamaica had one as well. A couple of them as well. We can support the nonsense as much as we want because we support party. But you are going to have to understand something. When your kids come home and they give you a roll, ask them where they get it from. When they come in the nice shoes, ask them where they get it from. Because you might not want to ask them, but you might just get a knock on your door one day with a search warrant. And when that search warrant turn out to be that role is in you, any one of the parent or other members in that house bag, that weapon that was used in the crime is on the house. Is our lawyer they're going with it? Is our lawyer they're going with? So I'm saying to Prime Minister Joe directly, Mr. Prime Minister, you might be innocent of what is taking place, but there's some bad actors, as you said, using your words. Your hands are clean. There might be some bad actors. Let the bad actors be dealt with. Nobody tell them to go do no bad. The whole country should not be paying the price for 1 or 2 bad actors. Too much damage was done to this country by these bad actors. And I believe you guys know who they are. So when you are going to go out there creating AI, disseminating it around, circulating it, trying to discredit Mr. Martinez, Mr. Astafan, Mr. Benter, and God knows who else. Where is our AG today to speak about this? Not too long ago, he was in Parliament. He said he upset. He's mad. He wants to take away people's phones. He wants to extradite people from America to St. Kitts to be tried for these kind of behaviors. Well, this AI that was created, it was created in St. Kitts. It was created in St. Kitts, and I have to give credit to the individuals that created that podcast, you know. That individual that developed that fake thing with Mr. Martinez and Dwyer and Mr. Benter's voice, they're very good. But they can use their talent for a better good. So my folks, I'm going to drop some clips right now. And we're going to have the conversation. As I said, I am not here on a Wednesday evening to bring down the government, to cuss the Prime Minister and his government. I am here to have the conversation and to remind our good citizens, we elect people to run the country and to be honest and do the right thing. Once they get into fraudulent behaviors, we're not here to defend them. We're here to support them in doing good. I support Prime Minister Joe. I think he's a good person. I think he'll be good for the country. But we need answers. When we ask about the statements made by Mr. Martinez, whether they're true or false? We don't want to hear from you, Mr. Prime Minister, that Mr. Martinez is a convicted fraudster. That was not the question. So let's drop these clips, because since Prime Minister Joe was elected, he met with Mr. Martinez up at Kitishan Hill. They had a nice conversation. So let's take a listen for ourselves together.
Following the launch of Impact World Media podcast host.
Now, the wrong one. Anyway, let's deal with that one. I'm going to deal with that one. And we're going to come back. So let's go.
Following the launch of Impact World Media podcast hosted by Philippe Martinez of MSR Media St. Kitts and Nevis, an investor under the country's Citizenship by Investment program, it has become clear that Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew has adopted a new stance on Martinez. Martinez, who filed lawsuits in the United States and in St. Kitts and Nevis against individuals he believes have hampered his development project by offering citizenship under the legal price of application in a jail project approved under former Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris, now accuses Prime Minister Drew of signing approvals of the majority of citizenship applications of the jail project. Martinez believes now that Dr. Drew and his administration are working against him and the MSR project in the Federation. In a media roundtable with Prime Minister Drew on 20th November, SK Newsline questioned the Prime Minister on this matter as he responded to Martinez's podcast and statements made.
And Terence Drew, I have supported you. I have applauded the reform that you've done. But now that I know that you have processed the vast majority of the Galaxy application and that you have lied to me, now you got some explaining to do. The Drew administration is doing everything they can to stop us to operate and recover our money. I'll give you an example. We don't have an escrow account to process application. I can tell you that our financier in the United States was in Nevis. He has at least 15, 20 applications that he wants to process, and we cannot, because for months and months and months, we asked the Drew administration to provide us a way to have an escrow account, and they're being silent. They play the game of the silent.
The MSR gentleman has made repeated statements in various media, including on programming that he himself produced, which are misleading at best and in some instances flatly untrue. We're dealing with somebody who is convicted of fraud and spent jail time for fraud, who should not be in our program in the first place. Subsequently, in dealing with him, and I will go on, the gentleman is faced with strong defenses and motions of his various claims. Because of these things, in our estimation, he has become desperate. Subsequently, one of the persons in the videos that he had, and I want you to listen to this, approached the government. And one of the things that was said to me and to the government was if we wanted this to go away, we need to pay 40 to 100 million US dollars in my office. How can a man enter in my office saying to me that I have to take 40 to 100 million dollars out of the government's treasury to settle this case that a fraudster has brought forward, who should not have been in the first place? That is why I ask, have this been researched? Have the media done its job? This is who he is. And therefore, the question is perplexing. How did he get into the program under Timothy Harris? How did he get in the program in May 2022?
Meanwhile, one of the cases is expected to be heard on St. Kitts in the first quarter of 2025. Glenn Bart reporting for SK Newsline.
Okay, very good people. Like I said, I wanted to drop the other clip first, but that's coming just fine, just to say. This is Prime Minister Joe speaking last week at this round table, questioning how could a gentleman like Mr. Felipe Martinez get into this program under a Timothy Harris administration. But when the Labour administration got into office under Prime Minister Joe, they said they did due diligence. So let's take a listen to this clip with Prime Minister Joe at the Belmont Farm, Kitishan Hill, with the same gentleman.
Welcome. It's a pleasure to be back in Kitishan Hill, which is now, I believe, called Belmont Farm. So thank you, Mr. Prime Minister, to have us. We shot a film last year here called Christmas in the Caribbean.
Welcome to Belmont Farm. Let the island heal you.
Starring Elizabeth Hurley. So it's a little bit emotional for everybody to be back here. And we're excited because the movie comes out in the United States in 2 weeks. So we would like to know if you would be happy for us to have a premiere of the film for the citizen of St. Kitts.
Well, I want to thank you very much, Philippe, and to thank you, Elizabeth, really for choosing St. Kitts. We have always thought that St. Kitts has what it takes to present itself to the world in the way that it will be presented with these movies. And so I am definitely looking forward to the premiere, but not me alone. I think the citizens and residents will be looking forward to that as well. I think this will be a most momentous occasion for us, and so we are happy to be a part of it. So definitely I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and we're excited because this is such a beautiful hotel, and St. Kitts is such a beautiful country, and the audience all over the world is going to see the movie. So we hope that it will do justice to the hotel and to the country.
Right, and I think it would. You know, we are developing here what we call the orange economy.
Yes.
We are looking at developing the arts, and this definitely fits into that. And to have this being premiered and our people having the opportunity to see it would have a tremendous impact, positive impact. But in addition to that, Kitishan Hill, which is a type of hotel, as we call it here, of its kind, where nature is blended with, good cuisine and a place to stay, which is a type of brand we are trying to portray as we develop our sustainable island state.
Yeah.
That the hospitality industry can of course be mixed with the preservation of our natural surroundings. Mm-hmm. And so Kitishan Hill, I would like people to know it's beautiful and it's open for them to come. But interestingly, that you have chosen Kitishan Hill to really do this movie and to present it to the world, and so we are very pleased with it.
Well, I'm back here now in St. Kitts and Nevis to make another film here, and it's actually going to be the third film that I've made over here. And the movie that's coming out this month, Christmas in the Caribbean, was such a pleasure to shoot. Funnily enough, where we're filming right now is the house that I stayed in for a couple of weeks when we were shooting, so it brings back really happy memories. And I think what's really important for me and for the other actors that are involved is that we really feel that we're working within communities that seem so open to have us as filmmakers, that seem to really be very keen to be involved. Philippe and his crew that he initially brought over from overseas, we've now integrated, and we have so many local people learning all the different trades backstage in the film and in front of the camera, and that's a wonderful thing for us to see. And it's just been an absolute pleasure to find this location to shoot in. I come from England, a very rainy country, not much sun, so for anybody like me to be invited to the Caribbean to shoot it's like a dream come true. So I'm very supportive of MSR and their endeavours to make this a real filmmaking artistic hub where more and more talented people, creative types, are going to be encouraged to come, and at the same time to be teaching and incorporating people who live here into our plans and dreams, so that, you know, as a united front, we can continue to make bigger and better movies here.
And that is the goal. One of the things I've said to Philippe, and you mentioned it, is about the incorporation of the local people here.
Yeah.
And what I've said to him is that we have a college here, and that one of the courses we would seek to develop is a movie making course, and to have his input in terms of the structure of the course and how it can be delivered. So this for us is a win-win and an extra win,
yes,
in terms of making sure that we benefit, you benefit, the world benefit from what we have to offer. And so this is why I'm so excited today, and especially when we have the premiere and bring it closer home to our people.
Well, we have a couple of news for you and the country. I know that your administration is very committed to education and to create employment.
Yes.
So we are prepared to do 35 films over the next 5 years and create 150 jobs for citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis. Along with our development, we are finalizing the purchase of a hotel in St. Kitts so that we can have a base to produce and train people in St. Kitts.
Yes, and you know, and as we have spoken before, that you will definitely have our support.
Yeah.
St. Kitts has the opportunity to become a hub.
Absolutely.
I think that when people see these quality movies and actors and actresses like Elizabeth, they would know that we are in serious business here.
Yes.
And so as we go along, I want you to know that you have our support, and we will develop this industry as our orange economy expands, and as people would look for what I would call the informal areas for employment, such as the arts and so forth. And so as we go forward, this is exciting, and you have our support.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome to Belmont Farm.
So, my good people, as you could hear the conversation, according to the Prime Minister, that was the convicted fraudster that the Prime Minister had a very cordial conversation with, and welcoming him to the Federation, and assured him the support for his hotel that he purchased there, now the former OTI, now the MSR Hotel. Now I'm going to play another clip here. This one is coming from SK Newsline with Andrea Huey, having a conversation about the future of MSR in our beloved Federation. Take a quick listen.
The explosive trading of accusations between Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew and investor Philip Martinez of MSR Media has clearly revealed a stark breakdown between the government and MSR Media. Martinez is suing the government and accused it of being complicit in corruption involving the Citizenship by Investment program. And while being complimentary in the past to the Prime Minister for reforms made to the CBI program, Mr. Martinez, in a recent viral podcast, was very critical of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister, in return, at his most recent roundtable, questioned Mr. Martinez's character, linking it to his criminal past, and essentially said he was not eligible to be in the CBI program in the first place. So what does this mean for Mr. Martinez's investments in the country? MSR Media had purchased the OTI Hotel in Bastyr, rebranded it as MSR Hotel, and had planned to use it as part of its movie production investment in the country. Several people were employed, and renovation works had begun. In a recent interview with the SK Newsline and Voice of the Caribbean Radio, Mr. Martinez was asked about the future of his investments and his relationship with the government and the country in light of the lawsuit.
I mean, first of all, as you know, we bought a hotel. The Prime Minister asked us to buy a hotel, and we bought it as a headquarters for the film industry. Obviously, we stopped shooting because of the lawsuit and because we want to see accountability. So yes, there is a future, but it's really, we have a lot of money to recoup, you know. Before we invest, we need to see some of our money back, and we have tens of millions of dollars outside right now, and we're going after the people responsible of us being duped CBI scheme.
In an interview with SK Newsline in August, I asked the Prime Minister a similar question.
In your view, how much do you think this new development has affected the relationship between the government and MSR Media? As an investor and as the government, has it affected it in any way negatively? And do you see the government continuing to work with MSR?
I would simply, I see you ask a lot of questions about MSR. I would simply say that MSR is given the opportunity to be looked at. Any investor go through their own, has the opportunity to what I call, the natural justice of any process. That is how I look at it. I would simply say that St. Kitts and Nevis, as a country, will always act in its best interest to protect itself. That is what I would say with respect to that. As you know, as you said, there's a lawsuit and so forth. So I would not get into a lot of specifics of anything, other than to say that, we would always act in the best interest of St. Kitts and Nevis.
And that's understandable. But in the end of the day, though, when this lawsuit is...
Well, when the lawsuit is done, let us have a conversation.
So when you get that bridge, you'll cross it.
Yeah. When I get there, I will discuss that.
Okay.
It's clear from these responses that the relationship between the government and MSR Media is completely severed. This bearing in mind that MSR Media was selected as a benefactor for the public benefit option of the CBI program. What appeared to be a promising start to create a new industry in St. Kitts and Nevis is fast becoming a nightmare.
Okay. So you heard that exchange between Brother Andre Huey of SK Newsline, Mr. Martinez of MSR, and Prime Minister Joe of Prime Minister for the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Again, I realize that some people are still not following the conversation. They're still confused. My boy Carbo is confused over there. In Nevis, Carbo is asking question about if the government is selling the passport at one price, why shouldn't Martinez sell the same? Carbo does not work like that. If you want to sell your goat water for less than Mikey Slap, it's up to you. You're paying the same price for the meat, that is your loss. CBI arrangement is something different. We will have a conversation offline. Let's take a quick listen to the news coming out of St. Lucia regarding the same situation.
International film production company MSR Media entered St. Kitts Nevis as an investor in its Citizenship by Investment program in 2021. Since then, the company has invested over $35 million, producing 10 films in St. Kitts and Nevis and employing over 200 nationals. According to MSR Media, it invested in the economy of St. Kitts and Nevis with the understanding that it would be participating in a free and fair citizenship by investment market. However, it learned that the industry has been plagued with corruption, fraud, and money laundering across the Caribbean. Following the 2022 general elections that saw Dr. Terence Drew beating out Dr. Timothy Harris, MSR's Philippe Martinez took his concerns to the new Prime Minister. At the center of it all is the operations of Caribbean Galaxy, a Chinese firm that has become a major player in the Citizenship by Investment program. Galaxy, under the Harris administration, undertook the construction of the Ramadan Hotel. Even when the first phase was incomplete, Galaxy was granted an undisclosed number of CIP passports as an extra payment to start a second phase. Galaxy was then granted some 5,500 passports at $175 to raise funds for the construction of a new correctional facility as an infrastructure project for the state. MSR alleges that shares or citizenships under the project were being sold below the regulated price. Caribbean Galaxy is also a CIP investor in St. Lucia.
Now, 5,500 citizenship at $175,000 per unit, that's $1 billion. That doesn't make sense for a jail that costs $40-50 million to build, right? So that kind of triggered me, my suspicion. The second problem, which is the problem that you guys have right now in St. Lucia, is that they're not selling the citizenship at the legal price. They're selling it way under the legal price. Those citizenships are sold in U.S. currency.
in US dollar. When the money is paid, it goes to US corresponding bank, which means that if you do something that's it's illegal, you're touching the US banking system.
MSR Media, in a press statement Friday, 19 April 2024, invited Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre and Investment Minister Dr. Ernest Siller to a meeting with their lawyers in Washington, D.C. by May 3rd to review investigative findings regarding what MSR deems criminal activities undertaken by some bad actors in the CIP industry, including, but not limited to, Caribbean Galaxy. Caribbean Galaxy is undertaking the St. Lucia Canals Resort here. It is the only active CIP project under the real estate option.
Currently in Dubai, agents are selling the citizenship of your country for way under the legal price in your country. Now that is a problem of your country. The problem is we found the legal, how would I say, breach that they've made. And we warned them. We told them, you are infecting the US banking system with your fraud. And that's really the basis of our lawsuit. There is also what I call the security risk, because we found out some very disturbing information, which I'm not at the liberty to share with you, but I've shared already with the US government, and I will share with the European Commission, that certain companies have influenced certain officials in governments to allow, and that shouldn't be allowed.
In an April 2, 2022 article, Investment Migration Insider, a CIP industry newspaper, reported that the Galaxy Canals project had sold out, with local agents informing that the government recently approved the issuance of several thousand more shares or passports for another project by Galaxy, this time in the infrastructure category, specifically an infrastructure project. Philippe Martinez says government should have its eyes wide open over investments, hence his invitation to the Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister with an additional player.
We just wanted to tell them, guys, there is a problem. There is a big problem. We are telling you in writing, you are welcome to come to Washington, D.C. and meet our lawyers. You are welcome to look at what we have. And then you make up your own mind. But if you don't take that chance, and the whole thing goes down in a few months, we will remind you that we want you. That's all. I would like to extend the invitation to a company called TM Antoine Partner Advisory, which I believe it's Mr. Thaddeus Antoine. And I understand that he's a lawyer, and that his company is also a processing agent for Galaxy. So I really do want to extend the invitation to him to come to Washington, D.C. I think it's important that he understands what's going on.
Martinez says when he took the damning evidence that include confessions, audio and video recordings to Dr. Terence Drew after he assumed office in St. Kitts, he made a vow to clean up the program. The claims by Martinez were supported by the Premier of Nevis, Mark Brantley, who served in the Harris government as Minister for Foreign Affairs. In November 2023, on his talk show On the Mark, Brantley said Harris, as Prime Minister, was aware that passports allocated to the jail project were being undersold. According to Martinez, Prime Minister Drew understands the threats involved, and for that reason, initiated and pushed for the OECS CIP countries to arrive at a common position in the wake of the EU Commission's inclusion of CIP operations as one of the reasons for the suspension of visa-free access to the Shenzhen region.
This is a magnitude problem of huge magnitude, unfortunately, the government of St. Lucia decided not to sign the agreement that the four other countries have signed. They will sign it. I have no doubt that very shortly they will sign it, and especially if they come to DC and see what we have.
MSR in November 2023 served notice of legal action against former Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris and Les Khan, the former head of the Citizenship Investment Unit. Harris and Caribbean Galaxy also filed suit for defamation, but in doing so, Martinez says a colossal mistake was made. The defamation suit opened up the path for MSR to legally subpoena bank transactions.
We have started to receive some financial transaction in US dollar from the corresponding bank, which proves what we've been saying all along. So we're very comfortable, and we cannot wait to continue to receive those information and to file our case in US federal court next month. And a lot of public servants are going to be worried.
Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre on Friday, 19 April, speaking to reporters, denied being summoned by MSR Media and said that what's happening in St. Kitts is a private affair that St. Lucia has absolutely nothing to do with and will not be dragged into it. For the DBS News World, Lisa Joseph reporting.
So, my good people, that was a news item coming out of St. Lucia. And, Brother Carbo, I'm happy to see you back on track. As you said, you've been employing people at your place there for some time and struggling. You had a couple of step workers that was taken away from you, and you're still struggling. Nobody have time to see you. Now, my good people, as I said earlier, when I speak what I observe, what I experience, and what need to be done in this country for the betterment of the country and its people. These politicians, they are elected to office to take care of the country and the people's business. But for whatever reason, when they get into these offices, they forget the reason why they was elected. And I have made this clear before, There are 11 constituencies that between St. Kitts and Nevis, you run in an individual constituency. But when you form a government and you are given a portfolio, you no longer represent your constituency alone, You represent the country. You represent the federation. And some people seem to forget that. You get position of Ministry of Sports. It is not just for number 4, Mr. Duggins. And I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm just using an example. The Deputy Prime Minister, he does not represent just number 1. You represent the country for education. So, just as the Prime Minister, you made a statement at your swearing-in ceremony that you are the Prime Minister for the Federation for St. Kitts Nevis. It's been over 2 years. This is midterm for your administration. And from day one, there are some people here in St. Paul's running me down. They want to have a chat with the Prime Minister. They want to have a drink with the Prime Minister. They ain't looking for anything. They just want to have a chat with their Prime Minister. And Mr. Prime Minister, you have promised me on several occasions, you're going to come to St. Paul's and hang with the boys for a few minutes. You passed through St. Paul's several times, go up to the Bellman Farm, going over to Arthur's, we see you. It's like when you see us, you turn your head because you don't have the time to stop to hang with the boys. The people of Nevis, by extension, DJ Marisha, have been inviting you across to Nevis for a town hall in whatever form, fashion, whether it's going to be outdoor or indoor. I've spoken to you about that privately, publicly. You acknowledge that you will go to Nevis. Yes, you've been to Nevis, maybe for Culturama, maybe for some private party or whatever event, parliament. But after 2+ years in government, you still have not found the time to go across to Nevis. But this gentleman that you are now identifying to us as a convicted fraudster, you met with him on numerous occasions at the Bellman Farm, Kittitian Hill. According to him, you met with him in Washington. You met with him at the MSR Hotel with your AG and other people. God knows where you met with them. But this is the problem that we are having. You ministers of government are elected by the people to take care of the country and the people not seeing you all. DJ Marisha come to see you. DJ Marisha sit for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours to get a 5-minute conversation with you, to take care of people business that cannot even come to a closure, that cannot come to a conclusion on numerous occasions. You can't go across to Nevis, 5 minutes across the waters via Reggae Beach, 30 minutes via Bass State to Charlestown. We have yet to go across to Nevis and have a good chat with the people. But you all find time to hang out with the criminals, the convicted fraudsters. You all saying it, you know. And then when the DJ tried to explain certain things, the response is, I don't care. And like I said before, if you all don't care, come out and give somebody the opportunity who care. Because I know there are people out there who care about this country and care about the citizens. I listened to a little bit of the former Prime Minister press conference today. And if I did not know better, I would hug him up and say, come, let's go. Let's campaign to change government. But I know Timothy was done, are you? I do not know about the rest of his candidates. But I have a concern about Timothy. Never again. That is my position. But just as I'm going to sit here and say, Timothy Harris never again as Prime Minister in this federation, and I'm going to work my backside off to make sure that does not happen. Just the same, I am saying, anytime I have the facts and can prove what is being said is factual, well, guess what? The campaign continues, you know. Get rid of them. That is not why we elect a government. We elect a government to take care of its people. Yes, the investors are going to come in, but you are telling me that the Caucasians supposed to enjoy our beloved federation better than the people that grew up here and born here? When I open my eyes in this country and get to know myself, it's Jobania and Clemia, you know, right here in St. Paul's. I left here a grown man, went out to North America, went out to the Virgin Islands and to North America and got the skills and talent that I have now. You all come out there and you all campaign and says, come back home, bring your talent, we need you. And when you come, it's all kind of bullshit. It's all kind of backlash. Well, this DJ, you know, is not here to spin or dance to anybody's tune. I play the music. I play the selections and I play the messages. I'm not a party animal. I deal with the message. And the message is we cannot go back to what this country went to between 2015 and 2022. If that is where we are going, I have a problem with it. I will not be a part of it. I will not support it. I want to see a better St. Kitts Nevis. And I say all of this, my people, because I'm going to play a clip right now. And I'm only going to play it. My better judgment told me not to play it because it's a fake clip. It's an AI-generated clip that somebody took the time out to try and dirty the credibility of Mr. Martinez, of Dwyer Astafan, and a very good gentleman name. But because of some comment I am seeing in the chat, some people seems to believe that this thing is real. Because one of my partner there, see him saying that according to the clip, the gentleman only wants 10 million from St. Kitts. which means people start to believe this thing. My good people, this is an AI fake production. It is fake. Let's listen to it because this is the first and only time it will be played. But when people sending you all these nonsense, let them know to stop it. Focus on the real deal. Focus on whether or not the CBI is in problem as it seems to be, based on court document, legal document. So let's take a quick listen together, and this is the only time you're going to hear it. But again, it's a fake AI production.
Following the launch of Impact World Media podcast hosted by Philippe Martinez.
No, that's not the one. That one is good. This is the one.
International film production company MSR Media entered St. Kitts Nevis as an investor in its citizenship by...
No, that's the wrong one too. How come on, pardon? How come you have me playing the wrong thing there, big man? How come you have me playing the big thing there, my partner? Okay, let me find it down here. Okay, this is the correct one here now. I think it's my boy Wussy have me playing the wrong one, you know, because he don't want me to play it, eh? Wussy, take a listen to this. You are the advisor to the Prime Minister. Tell them to put a stop to this fake stuff. It's not helping them. It's not helping the country. This is my advice to you guys. This is fake, and you all know it's fake.
I told Prime Minister of St. Lucia and made my demands crystal clear. I mean, very clear. $25 million, not a penny less. Then I turned to the Prime Minister of St. Kitts, 10 million from you, if you want your name out of my RICO suit. It was simple. They pay, and I walk away. And if they refuse, well, I've made relationships. You know, relationships in Caribbean. Good ones, powerful ones. Even connections with gangs in both countries who are more than willing to lend me a hand. The message was clear. Pay me or watch as your crime rates double overnight. It's not a threat, it's a guarantee. Because in the end, they will pay. You know, people always pay.
Yeah, man. I know about your relations.
You know about the recordings? Thank you. Let me tell you something interesting. My relationships with the technical masterminds and engineers, like people who are real good with technology. With them on my side, there's almost nothing I can't create. A voice? Consider it done. A video? Easy. I can make anyone, anywhere, say exactly what I want. Words they've never spoken, actions they've never taken. It doesn't matter, like we do it in the movies.
Wow.
So, yes, if I need someone to speak, they'll speak, whether they like it or not.
Philippe Martinez, once an obscure figure, now found himself at the center of a social media storm after an audio of him demanding millions from the governments of St. Kitts and Nevis and St. Lucia went viral. In the audio, Martinez clearly demands vast sums of money, $25 million from St. Lucia, $10 million from St. Kitts and Nevis, threatening them with a lawsuit. But the question everyone is asking, who is Philippe Martinez, and what drives him to extort nations in the Caribbean? Philippe Martinez, a Frenchman with a disturbing history of financial manipulation and deceit, has been convicted for financial fraud in France. He also served 6 months in jail for his fraudulent activities. Now he turned his focus to the governments of St. Kitts and Nevis and St. Lucia, using a calculated web of manipulation to extort millions from innocent nations. Behind every great scheme, there are always accomplices. Martinez's web of deceit was not woven alone. His criminal efforts were bolstered by 3 key figures, each with their own dark history. The first one is Kenneth Rejik, an individual who has built a career on spreading fake news and misinformation. Rejik's role in Martinez's scheme was clear, using fabricated stories to threaten governments and put pressure on them to meet Martinez's financial demands. He also served a jail sentence for money laundering. The second is Dwyer Astafan, a well-known figure in the Caribbean, infamous for his willingness to sell anyone for money. Astafan played a critical role in amplifying Martinez's fabricated narratives, making sure the pressure on governments was unrelenting and loud. And then there's Oakland Benta, an individual whose own criminal past, including a bankruptcy case and suspension from the Virgin Islands Police Department, made him an ideal accomplice in this scheme. Benta's role in this web of deceit was to further manipulate and intimidate those who might stand in Martinez's way. It all started in Nevis. Martinez, using his company, MSR Media, promised to boost the island's economy through film production. In return, the government paid him a hefty sum, $150,000 every month. But the promises were empty. The films produced by Martinez turned out to be commercial failures. The island had not seen the promised economic boom, and the government stopped the payments. With his money flow drying up in Nevis, Martinez turned to extortion, and with the use of a criminal network, demanded vast sums of money to withdraw a RICO suit against governments of St. Kitts and Nevis and St. Lucia. He demanded $25 million from St. Lucia, threatening a RICO lawsuit. From St. Kitts and Nevis, he demanded $10 million for the same, a bold move that put these nations under immense pressure. With a colonial mindset, Martinez saw an opportunity in the economically disadvantaged nations of the Caribbean. He targeted St. Kitts and Nevis and St. Lucia, countries with smaller economies, populated by innocent, hard-working people who are not aware of his tactics. Using the same fraudulent tactics he had employed in the U.S. and France, Martinez began his campaign of extortion. Notably, he is the person who always made public demands for financial transparency from governments. But he never shared any of his own financial dealings or documents, leaving the people of these nations in the dark about how much money he had already received or pocketed. But it didn't stop there. Martinez's extortion scheme took a more insidious turn. He started offering bribes to key figures within the government. One such person was Leslie Kahn. Martinez lured him with lavish gifts, luxury dinners, and covered expenses, anything to secure his loyalty and cooperation. In return, he demanded shares in the Ocean Terrace Inn, worth a staggering $500 million. In exchange for these shares, Martinez received 200 million CBI, citizenship by investment, applications. And when failed, Martinez used blackmailing tactics to extort money from the government of St. Kitts and Nevis. Undeterred, Martinez turned back to his old tactics, demanding money from the governments of St. Kitts and Nevis and St. Lucia through extortion, with his criminal network at his side.
Like I said, my good people, you can see for yourself that if you listen clearly to the so-called voice of Mr. Martinez in this clip, you will see Mr. Martinez cannot speak English that clear. So the AI, whoever produced this AI production, they did a very good job with it. But if you're paying attention and not just want to fall for the fake news, you will see that is something that was created. So my good people, when people sending you guys these stuff, don't keep forwarding them all over the place. Like I've said to many of you, why you all sending me this stuff? I have no interest in Mr. Martinez's background. The interest I have right now is what's taking place with our CBI. Because this is not about going down the road and getting 3 beers for $10, you know. When you're hanging out down the ferry terminal and you're getting 3 for $10 on a Friday afternoon, it's not a bad deal, you know. But when you're talking about citizens coming into this country, foreigners coming into this country, 2 for the price of 1, or 3 for the price of 1, is going to affect every one of us going forward, you know. I don't know if you guys really taking this thing serious. When I heard that the amount of passport that is out there from the CBI is more than the population of St. Kitts and Nevis combined, I have a problem with it. When I heard that news last year, and I reach out to the mighty Pat to come and bring the message to the people. I was met with some serious pushback. The radio station didn't want to play my song. Now they didn't want to play. They did not play it up until today. Carnival committee shut us down at the semifinals because they didn't want that song on stage. But we are soon to be alien in this, our beloved country, if we're going to continue to support this nonsense. 5,500 passport to build a prison to put who in? Every one of you, I invite every national of St. Kitts and Nevis. I invite you guys, when you come to visit, go up. Go see the prison, they're putting them up there. You all go up there and see it for yourself, because a lot of you here in St. Kitts and Nevis, you all don't have a clue what's going on up there. You all don't have a clue what's going on around you. Pretty soon you are going to be chased into the sea. You are not going to be welcome in this land of yours, the land of your birth. You all need to wake up and understand Martinez is not the problem. Dwyer is not the problem. Benta is not the problem. DJ Marisha is not the problem. It's the people that you all elected into office to take care of your business that is messing up this country. You got some words I would like to use, but it is not right to use them at this time and this podcast. And you all know when I get into this zone, is that a good zone to be in, you know, because I get real pissed. So instead of saying what I really would like to say, I'm going to ask Starshield to help me out.
What is the reason for you to fear the iniquities of wicked men nowadays, when you are aware all that is in their minds is to upraise strife and confusion? But the same does fall on their children, down to the third and fourth generation. Corruption, I say, it could work, but it just can't pay. For most people who are living sky high today, got rich in dishonest ways, and living with day from day to day, I can say that if they could hold the key to destruction and upturn this place to confusion, they would strive to do all they can do. So this message I bring to you, especially for them wicked people, and it's not lies, so listen to my cry. If a man spit up to the sky, it must fall straight back in the eye. Some men would even use their position to seduce young women of this nation. Say this is wrong. Men coming out of school, trying to get employment, and to be successful, they must be present for interviews at their residence at 8 p.m. instant, or somewhere they never went. I call it a bed and back situation, breeding corruption over the land. But they'll cease from their wicked plan when they understand that the one who holds the key to destruction, someday he'll turn their life to confusion. They continue to seduce my people. For when he see they're getting too far, he would take away the power before they die. So they'll know it's not lie, that when they spit up to the sky, it must fall straight back in their eye. Broadcasting and rumors going around, information about wolves in sheep clothing, keeping us down. Just like Jim Jones, the minister over in Guyana, a cover for the land he want to take over. He didn't mind to kill a multitude at one time. After making them sign him as beneficiary of their social security. But not he didn't live to spree his decree. For he do not hold the key to destruction to stop them from shooting him down. Or he'd openly let it be me. But the one above has the plan to make all them decisions. And if I lie, oh, he wouldn't have to die. When he spit up to the sky and it fall straight back in here. I do not intrude on no specific man. For when I sing my song, I just sing it from true inspiration. Whatever I do does surely affect me too. For whatever deed that I do, it becomes a vicious circle. Vanity never makes happiness for you. So you should never spoil your future days for vanity which does not pay. For happiness can only be when your mind is free. And you know who holds the key to destruction can make this a happy nation if we strive to do what we should do. That's why this message I bring to you would help us to struggle through, let it reach you high. So even if I die here, I spit a blessing up to the sky, let it fall straight back in your eye.
Yes, my good people, spit a blessing up in the sky could fall right back in your eye. Brother Carbo, I'm right on track with you, my brother. These politicians, you elect them to take care of the people's business, the country and the citizens, but they spend more time taking care of whoever they call investors or Caucasians or whatever, instead of taking care of their people. But DJ Marisha, you know, DJ Marisha is here to speak truth to power. And at the end of the day, who don't like it? Mr. Harley said, I must tell you tough. It's just about 6:31. Sorry, 7:31 in the evening here in the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis, 6:31 in the New York area. I guess sometime after Minister 11 there in the Minister 12 or whatever in the UK. So before I get into my closing, you know, I'm not going to leave here this evening without giving you guys an update and cut the situation with my brother there, the Lord Black, Brother Conce Edwards. And it's a very painful thing for me to deal with because Brother Edwards' family is in some serious pain, not getting answers, not getting responses from the people that's supposed to take care of its citizens. The government of St. Kitts Nevis, Prime Minister Joe, you're the Minister of National Security, Minister of Health. We need some answers. Put your AG to work. Your Ministry of Health is not functioning. Things not going well over there. Today, Wednesday, the 27th of November, mark 117 days since Conce Edwards went missing from this home in Saddlers. 117 days since Brother Lord Black went missing from that home in Saddlers. 109 days since he was found. 109 days since he was found in the hills of Saddlers Mountain on the gut side in some grass. Like a dog, to be exact. Just down there, lying down in his back in some grass. Very bad sight to see. 97 days since his funeral. 97 days. More than 11 weeks since letters was written to your acting PS Curtis Martin. As I said before, a gentleman that I respect and love, but they need to do the work. There are letters that was written to the acting PS, by extension the Ministry of Health, seeking some information and want to make sure that measures are put in place that this would not happen to another citizen of this federation. To date, the family have not heard from the Ministry of Health. DJ Marisha have not heard a response to his letter. Recently, you all know that patient went missing from the JNF. Luckily, he was found alive. With actions from his mother and other supporters, he was able to locate, thanks to the police for jumping in and doing their part. But we, as citizens, we have to stop support this party politics nonsense. You might support a political party, but these issues are more than politics. You could be one of the next victim. Your family and friend could be one of the next victim. So I am calling on you all. Pick up the phone. Call on your ministers. Call on your representative. I want to call out the ombudsman. You all are not just there just to collect a paycheck. What happened to the NGOs? What happened to these churches? Where's the empathy? Where's the sympathy? Where's the concern for your beloved members of society? Something needs to be done. As a matter of fact, I'm going to call and the family of Brother Edwards to write directly to the Prime Minister at this time and the AG. Since the Ministry of Health is not acting, then we need to go straight to the Prime Minister and the AG. And if things does not work out there, then we take it externally. If it has to be taken externally to get solved, let's do it. But something has to be done about that home in Sadlers and the system as a whole. The healthcare system in this federation, we need to get policy and procedures in place. This mental slavery business, we need to get out of it. We cannot just be blind to situation because a governmental support is in office. No, they need guidance. They need our support. We need to direct them in the areas that they're not paying attention. They're not coming out to play domino on a domino table in our community because they're in the cloud. They have to go to Dubai. They have to go to Barbados. They have to go to the Virgin Islands. They have to go to Grenada. They have to go to the UK. They have to go to the Middle East. They have to go to China, Japan. So they don't have time for the little communities here in St. Kitts and Nevis. They don't have time for Nevis. So we need to make them understand that. So folks, let me ask Starshell again to help me out.
Life is getting harder. I can feel it. Oh yes, feel it. But mostly for our color. But we cause it. Oh yes, cause it. Our minds function against ourselves and functions for somebody else. We cannot be the we want to be. They say they ended slavery, but that was just according to history. For they control us mentally, and I see the cracking of the whip and the beating of the drum, the harsh words from the planter man, and the transporting of people to distant lands. It's still on our minds. No, I cannot forget. It's still on our minds. No, I cannot forget. It's still on our minds. No, I cannot forget. It's still on our minds. No, I cannot forget. So I said, tell me when would we learn again? Would we learn again? Tell me when would we learn again? Would we learn again? But I said we got to learn, and we surely got to learn, and if we don't want to learn, we got to learn. But I said we got to learn, and we surely got to learn, and if we don't want to learn, we got to learn. Give me the tambo, give me the tambo, give me the tambo, give me the tambo. Some call it class distinction and a color. Oh yes, color. They say it's for some reason or another. Oh yes, another. But the only reason I can find was designed to destroy our kind. But yet we do not seem to understand. They put our own native man to turn against us when he has position over we and control us mentally. So you see, the cracking of the whip and the beating of the drum, the harsh words from the planter man would be a warning to every West Indian man. It's still on our minds. No, I cannot forget. It's still on our minds. No, I cannot forget. It's still on our minds. No, I cannot forget. It's still on our minds. No, I cannot forget. So I said, tell me when would we learn again? Would we learn again? Tell me when would we learn again? Would we learn again? They said we got to learn, we surely got to learn, and if we don't want to learn, we got to learn. Then I said we got to learn, we surely got to learn, and if we
Yes, sounds of the man Starshield. That one is called mental slavery. Definitely have a mental situation here in the in the Federation of St. Kitts. Brother Cabo, I'm going to accept your meeting tonight. I understand I have not been to Nevis in a bit. As a matter of fact, a few people asked me when last I've been to Nevis because they have not heard me announce going to Nevis for some time. But they don't realize I normally just show up and surprise you. I cannot come this week. I cannot come next week. But I can assure you, God spared my life, and the 14th of December, I'll be there. Okay, Cabo, put me down for December 14th. As a matter of fact, I want to have a summit. So I'm giving you a message to some people over there because I understand at the convention on Sunday, they said they don't want to be lazy anymore. They're going to take the advice of the lady from St. Lucia and they're going to get up out of their lazy ass and try to do some work. So since they decide they want to get up out of their lazy ass and do some work, I want you to invite some people to meet me by you. I want you to tell the leader of the NRP, Sister Janice Daniel Hodge, Sister Pat. I don't care if the rest of them coming. Just Janice and Pat, I need to see them. Carlisle, Mr. Daly, B-Boy Tulu, and Hensley Daniel. Tell them I want to see them over by you. I'll be there on the 14th. I'm coming to have a summit with them. They got a job to do before I get there though. I want them to make sure they identify all the unfinished projects on Nevis that started on the CCM, mainly on the Premier Grantley. I want them to identify on a piece of paper for me all the unfinished projects on Nevis that has not completed and how long there has been how long there has been overrun, overcost, and all of that good stuff. We're going to have a good summit. I want Mikey Slack there too, you know, and I want Glendale Hobart there, right? Let them know. My boy Jeff Pemberton, let them know DJ Marisha is coming and he wants to have this summit with them. Patrice is my personal attorney while I'm there because I know when I finish with them, I might need a lawyer. So make sure Patrice is there as well, right? So let them know the DJ will be coming to hang out with Cabo for the afternoon. I'm not staying overnight, so don't try to get me to stay overnight. I am just coming to hang with you and I'm heading back to Sugar City St. Kitts. So, Cabo, we have a lot of work to do in this Bill of Federation. And at the end of the day, if we don't stand up for our rights, our freedom, what happened to the country above self? What happened to the pride of a nation? So I'm going to drop a final track, you know, before I go into my closing, because you guys are the ones that dropped that unofficial anthem of the Federation. DJ Marisha is gone. I ain't saying good night to nobody this evening, you know. I'm not saying good night to nobody. I just want to wish everybody well. And I want Starshield to help me out with this one.
Wrong. We are far away from self-realization. For politics has its season, but prosperity has a price. And to build a progressive nation, we must pay the sacrifice. And the sacrifice of our leaders is to obey the one above, not to live for the love of power, but by the power of love. And the sacrifice of our people, when every election done, is come together and work with cooperation and change and stand up and build this nation. Yes, it's time to uplift our nation and disregard all our differences in party affiliation. For if we want this land to be a land of peace and prosperity, then we let unity abide for the sake of our nation's pride.
Yeah, man. Think it's never.
I would not rest until peace, love, and unity abide among my people. Tis we make foreigners coming and taking over we land, is because it's supposed to be failing, and it's we who mash up our bands, and it's we who are the oppressors to the citizens of our lands, and we divide it in every situation. Take a good look at the Syrians, how they're prospering in this land. Under any administration, they unite with corporation. But my people are so divided on this little rock in the sea, that our sportsmen just have to suffer when they come from the country. That is why all our teams are failing, but we keep our sportsmen down. So let's forget all this regional division and change and stand up and build our nation. Together we lift our nation. Yes, and disregard all petty differences and regional confusion. For if we want this land to be a land that reigns with supremacy, then we let unity abide for the sake of our nation's pride. Progress was found in calypso songs, when we used to sing songs of success and for blessings to our land. Now we cussing and spreading rumor to degrade others' character, but this should not be a part of our culture. So I said this word in calypso that our children would understand, and calypsonians would remember when they sit down to write their songs, that when you point your finger at another, it's three pointing back at you. So when you degrade your own brother, you degrading your own self too. For the greatest crown of a nation is the crown of a nation's pride. So in unity we all should abide. Oh yes, let's stand up and build this nation. It's time to uplift our nation. Yes, and disregard all our differences. Let us work and live as one. For if we really, really want this land to be a land of pride and integrity, then let's put all these things aside and save our nation's pride. I said to save our nation's pride. Save our nation's pride. Now come on, politicians, save our nation. Wipe out all the division between the country and tongue. Calypsonians come build this land. We gonna stop pulling each other down. Yes. Let's save our nation.
Yes, the song of the man Starch, we're going to save our nation pride. And I want to thank the good folks down there at the Island Purified Water, Main Street, Newton Ground, St. Kitts. Brother Powell and crew, thank you for keeping the DJ hydrated when he's in the area. I also want to take this opportunity out to recognize those good folks who have been contributing to my initiative here. Folks like the man there, Jeff Freights and Son Enterprises in the Molyneux area, and Freights Bakery there in the Borio area. The man there, Brother Eustace Warner there. Warner's one stop over there in Bird Rock. The man Paris, Romeo Paris, Paris Pharmacy, thanks for your continued support. Sister Gloria Hutchinson, Smart Fit there and Central Street next to Skelec. The man Romela Jeffords there in the Florida area. Thanks for your continued support. The man Douglas Shaw, thanks for your continued support. Sister Hazel Claxton, thanks for your support, sister. Sister Annette Morton, love every time. Sister Blanchett, Sister Libod, thanks for your contribution. Sister Pearl there in the UK, thanks for all your contributions. Sister Beverly Marisha, Gwyneth Marisha. Sister Anelta Robinson, good evening, how are you doing? Hope all is well. Thanks for your support. Also, want to big up my boy there down at the ferry terminal, Brother Julian Pemberton, how are you doing? How is my boy Luther Kelly? I understand you guys traveling across to St. Martin this weekend for the Luther Kelly cricket game there. I think Brother Austin Williams will be taking the trip as well. Wish you guys much success over there in St. Martin. Have fun and be safe. Well, our nation pride is what it is, you know. We just have to stick together and do the right thing. Like I said, I don't have time to hail up everybody this evening, so I'm not even going to get into now big shout out. But cannot forget my son Jeff Roy Jr. there in the LA area. How are you doing, son? I hope you're healing up well. Sister Jazz, how are you doing? Hope all is good with you. My sister Esther, right now she's cruising all over Atlanta with Mukish and the kids. Hope you guys are okay. Sister Gwyneth Marisha, good evening. Hope all is well with you. My mascot there, Sister Dorothy Allen. So folks, as I said, I'm going to run across to Nevis on the 14th of December. I'm going to make sure that I touch my boy Carbo before the holiday season. Hopefully I can have a conversation with those folks over there. See what they're really doing, because everybody's talking about change. There can't be change without conversation. Everybody don't have the same mindset or the same approach. It's the results that count. And I know anything I put my hands on, it will work. So, Prime Minister Joe, this one for you. Good evening, my brother. Hope all is well with you and the wife and your cabinet of ministers. Remember, we are here to do just this. We cannot.
Your country dying and never lend a helping hand. Would you see your children's future dwindling, creating much disillusion? Or would we watch on idly, disregarding our self-sufficiency? Building a brand new nation, we'll move on. unification, building a brand new nation. We move on together hand in hand. Rise, citizens, arise. The country is yours, all yours, still yours. Can your conscience be clear? Indulging corruption or misusing public office, being accused of unemployment and crimes, or disrupting a citizen's peace. Oh, my country in this harmony, separated politically. Hatred for a brother, cannot love each other. No, I say no, potato. Citizens, let's unite and stand up for rights, all our lives and our lives. Let us reintegrate and correct all mistakes. Reunification, building a brand new nation. We'll move on together hand in hand. So rise, citizens, arise. The country is yours, all yours, still yours.
Yes, that's the sound of the late great the man King Arrow. This country is yours, all yours, my people. Want to take this opportunity to say a happy Thanksgiving tomorrow when it comes for you folks here in the US. And for those of you who might be at your table cutting your turkey and carving and sipping on your wine and stuff, remember the DJ in St. Kitts could use them things in it. So put a little donation there for the DJ, that the DJ could have a little turkey and ham and thing like that too. And take care of his engineers. And remember, I'm going across by Cabo, you know, so I need to have something to drink over there as well. So, and the 14th of December, I'll be heading across to Cabo. So anyone feel like they want to pop in and have a drink, feel free to stop by. I want to say good evening to my daughter there, Sister Rochelle, and the grandkids there in Ohio. Until such time, as we meet next week, enough respect and love to